talking about censorship not having its place. Like, people censor where they shouldn't.
Well, I think there's an agenda going on.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's backwards because, you know, they're going to censor things like nudity in the middle of the day on television, let's say.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's like, say, an act, like a natural act where a couple's having sex, but it's like, you're not seeing anything. It's not like you're watching porn.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But they won't...
It's just kind of suggested.
It's suggested, and there's nudity, yet they're going to allow things like Lady Gaga dressed like a nun fucking these guys in a music video.
Yeah.
You know, or... You know, like I said, for instance, the stuff you see on CSI. You know, and there's many like that. It's rape, it's this, it's that, and... I just think it creates a very unhealthy behavior in people that go and they go seek these things in a very unhealthy manner. And I think that's why I think it's, you know, or watching shows where they're insulting people's like ideology, their beliefs, their religion, their culture. You know, I think there should be censorship there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or, you know, like even social media. Facebook's going to shut down someone that's talking about something racial.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're going to shut that down in 2 seconds. I see porn on Facebook.
Yeah.
Live.
Yeah.
Porn.
Yeah.
That's not shut down. But they're going to shut down somebody talking about their, you know, their cultural struggle.
But
that's going to get shut down.
Like women breastfeeding?
Or the woman who had her period, like, she posted a photo of herself on Instagram, and that's her lying in bed, and there's like a spot on her pants because she's asleep, and it happened and it leaked, and they pulled it down, and she was doing this whole documentary about women and
their period,
their relationship, it's a real thing, and how we're taught to even, you know, sneak around with our purses and not
How many times have you given a tampon to your friend, like in her hand, like secret? She's like, she comes to your ear and she's like, "Do you have a tampon?"
Like it's a big,
and it's like we all have that
secret. On a side note, that's very interesting that we went there because apparently there has been a huge censorship around our periods.
There is. Yeah.
It's like we were so deep into the space, but it's like recently there was a conversation about how many women look at their blood to see or know how to look at their blood to make sure they're in balance or they're healthy. Like how many women smell their blood.
Okay, but you see, honestly, that's where I draw a line. Even hearing you say that, that's very private.
Yeah,
I don't think that needs to be put. I think that's crass. Like I think, you know, I saw some stuff online where it's like they want to show women with their blood and talking publicly about smelling blood. You know what? I think that's vulgar.
Vulgar.
Yeah, I do.
Vulgar.
I think it's vulgar. It's crass. Not vulgar, but I think it's crass. There's no need for that. That's like going around saying, I look at my shit when I... Listen, that's private. You don't need to... That's what I find interesting about North America, is that everyone's going to talk like that. Mm-hmm. Oh, and I fart, and this is what... I look at my shit, and all of this type of stuff. But then it's a taboo to watch two people making love. It's like... Okay.
Well, I think that's
first,
I disagree.
Much.
I disagree that it's crass. I think that what's happening in that sense is that as a society, as human beings, we always need to go kind of far in the other direction in order to find a balance.
You have to push down the doors when you're blocked.
Exactly. You can't just be
in this society. Yeah.
I think it's pretty much everywhere.
No.
I think it's like that. Like what maybe the societies you're referring to are not like that about like periods, but they might be like that about something else. I feel that when you want people to start accepting something or start looking at it the other way, you have to go all the way on the other side. It might not be the only way to do it, but it's always how we've been doing it. And I'm all about that movement of, you know, removing the taboo. Yes, removing the taboo of something, and I think that's what entertainers do. That's what, like, anybody that wants to, you know, push things forward. That's what we've been doing. Is it right? Is it wrong? I don't know. Does it work? Yes.
I think that where censorship is concerned, it's a very tricky and slippery slope
Yes.
But the only thing that I recognize right now is that we are against things being censored when we are in agreement or we're comfortable with the topic, and then when we're not comfortable with the topic, we are for censoring that.
Yes.
Like the fact that there's some things that should be censored and some things that shouldn't, who gets to choose? Because along the way, some things that are benign to us have been censored other places because people had some kind of not being able to understand it or not being part of their own history.
Or their religious beliefs too.
Yeah.
There's many places where things are censored because of that.
Well, I just want to branch into this book I read, which was about the Red Tent. It was a very interesting book. It's called The Red Tent. And without getting too much into about feminine worship of their period and all those things that were erected in honor of our periods, they talked about the 12 tribes of Israel. It was very clever. But essentially, part of the story was because the people had to move into a territory or accept a group of people who did not believe in women going away for a period of time to honor themselves during their periods. That whole part of our heritage has been squelched. And so we treat our periods negatively and aggressively. Like they're not welcome. They're not welcome to our bodies. And so we don't
honor it.
We don't honor it. And I don't think, personally, I don't want a picture of me lying down in bed with my period blood.
Neither do I.
No.
I don't want that because my period blood is very, very, very personal.
Yeah.
And but to teach women to say, hey, do you check? Do you check it? Because that's part of your regime. That's part of your taking
Yes, I
care of your
agree
body.
with that. I
You know
agree
what I mean?
with what you're saying. Yeah.
So that's a weird way we've censored ourselves, and we actually eat ourselves from the inside out when we do stuff like that.
I agree.
But
And
sorry.
no, it's all good. Just to wrap it up with that is that the girl in the Instagram article shone a light. How do you say that? It shined a light on my own weirdness about periods, because you know what, it happens to pretty much everyone, and I thought she was pretty brave to actually put it on.
When you first saw the
but
picture?
when I first saw it, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, me too. I was like, really?
But the thing is, it felt like it wasn't my oh my god. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
it was the oh my god that was implanted in your brain.
Yeah.
That you're supposed to be oh my god when you see that.
And then, but I'm sure, of course, there's a part of me that took it in, and that's a part of me. But it felt a little separate from me, where I was like, oh, okay, because really, I see that, and I'm like, that happens all the time, you know.
Yeah.
And I thought that it was pretty cool that she posted that, and she made a big deal about it, because they pulled down. You were talking about, you know, how you see porn on Facebook, but they pulled down her picture saying it was going against Instagram photos, when girls are showing their freaking buttholes all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
But when it comes to a girl just like in her sweatpants, in bed, laying there, vulnerable, and there's a stain, and I was like, ugh, Instagram cannot handle that. And I thought there's definitely an imbalance there.
Like, why? What is it about that? What is the thing? What's a separate? Like, okay, can you imagine a picture of a woman breastfeeding her baby, and let's say there's still the wetness, like the baby's off, and you see the nipple, and you see like the wetness, like of the milk. That's a photograph on social media, or not social media, a piece of art. How do you feel that would be received?
Terribly.
I actually saw a good meme today where it was these security guards stopping a woman in the mall because she's breastfeeding, and right behind her is a huge poster of a woman in lingerie with her
Tits out.
Like, and it was just the irony, you know.
Wow.
It's like she's doing something natural, feeding a child, and she's being told that she needs to stop, and there's these huge posters in back.
It's like, ma'am, you're being indecent.
You're being you're surrounded
Cover
by
yourself.
You know?
Yeah, there's all these huge posters of like women like pretty much naked, like in G-strings, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, there's definitely an imbalance. I agree. I'm in agreement with Lady Andy. I think it's something women shouldn't be taught to hate their body nor hate their period, nor hate their sexuality. All of that, I think that needs to be embraced. However, I think, like you would usually say, Dee, how much is too much?
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, I realize that in North America there's a lot of shock value, maybe like you said, to make people realize things. Yeah. But I think some people do, and I think some people get something very dysfunctional out of that.
Yeah.
So I think that it should start where Lady Andy said, where it's in the teaching.
Yeah.
And the responsibility to teach this. And I think that would maybe balance it out a little bit more. And then really, you know, look at the agenda here. What's really in back of why people are censoring what they're censoring and allowing what they're allowing.
Of course.
Because there's something that doesn't make sense, in my opinion.
Well, we're very comfortable with violence.
Violence,
we're very comfortable with anger and rage.
Violence, anger, and like force.
Yeah.
You
It's
know?
even in the video game where we were talking about that.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, that's
And,
not Jesus.
What is it?
Oh, come on, we know it. Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft, yeah.
Where it's like now one of the characters could rape a woman.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Absolutely.
No, hasn't that already been?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been
No, this
happening.
one is now that this was what they now made it so it's simulated. Sex is simulated.
Simulated.
Okay, and there's a scene where you can have sex with a prostitute.
Yeah.
And after you finish having sex with her, you can beat her up.
Yeah.
Oh
Or
my
you can-
God.
something like that.
Yeah.
Like that's allowed.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, okay, there is. I gave up on things like we need to censor this. I just found it interesting that this is a game that goes through the hands of many people I know.
And children.
Nice guys
And
I
kids.
know that are really nice
Yeah.
are playing these games. They're really sweet. They're really
Kids.
but there's also
Yeah.
kids. Like kids are
Because you were saying
Playing.
teaching, right? It starts there.
teaching, and to me, physically, I don't know if it's because I'm a girl, which I don't think it's because I'm a girl, because I have my own moments, you know. But I don't want to play a game where I get to slash someone's throat open. I don't want to play a game where I'm paying for sex and then making this woman look like shit and talking stupid and then beating her head into the ground. I don't see the purpose. I can get mad sometimes. I'm like, I feel like I want to bitch slap somebody on the street, you know.
Yeah.
But
But
then they'll
I don't
censor
understand.
nudity in the day of a couple in love. I don't get it.
But you can play fucking games where you kill.
That's what I'm saying.
And the
I
worst-
don't
and
understand.
you know that kids are gonna play it.
I
The
don't
worst is
understand.
that they're gonna say things like oh, but it's because it
This
needs
is
to
reality.
be, it needs to reflect
reality.
I'm like,
but
again, I ask you, the couple making love.
but which reality are we trying to reflect? Right?
Exactly.
That's the
Does
question.
that not reflect reality?
Yeah.
Couples are having sex. They're
Yeah.
making love. What's wrong with that?
Well,
Especially if
there's
it's shown
more
in that
people
light.
Not maybe there aren't a lot of people who understand the really core value of having a very healthy sex life. Maybe there are a lot of people who sit there and scream.
But
when
what?
they see
But
that.
what came first, the chicken or the egg? Is society not understanding that because it's censored
Right,
and it's a taboo,
right.
and this is why they're not understanding it, or are they reflecting that on TV because they're reflecting reality? So which
I
one
don't
is
know.
it?
I think we should have the omelet and the chicken wings at the same time and just let it go. And let us watch.
But you
the
know
people
what?
having
This makes
happy
me
sex.
think. This makes
I
me
think
think
it's
about
just
something
fake
very
freedom of
interesting.
speech.
You know, like virtual
It is.
virtual realities, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have these virtual realities where you can really like play a game, and you
fuck
build this
people.
character,
Yeah.
and like you live with other people, and you could be a 45-year-old man and you're playing this 17-year-old little like
Girl.
girl. It doesn't matter. You can be whoever you want, and I find that very interesting
Yeah.
because in the virtual reality, instead of using that to help make like a better society or like build like a
Yeah.
like an alternate reality that we could maybe implement, you
Yeah.
know, people are just rehashing this same old shit, and just like it's like, oh, I've always wanted to be a millionaire, so I'm going to be a millionaire in this space.
Yeah, it's a space where you could behave like
deviantly.
deviantly live out all your
darkness,
all your dark, devious
desires.
things. You know, and this is what I find interesting, is that in the societies where there is real freedom of speech and people are liberal to, like, you know, where they're not censoring these things, these games still exist there.
Yeah.
And I don't think people have the same behavior towards it.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know about that.
no,
I don't know.
I've seen it. The obsession's not the same. You know, you won't even see kids attack these actually perfect. It's designed to fill all those gaps. But we're being distracted with these things, and it's just interesting to me that they're censoring people in things that are completely natural of humans and actually beautiful things. And they're allowing people to express themselves in very violent manners, in very disrespectful ways,
Yeah.
and that is not being controlled. And people cannot express their pain. They can't express injustice. They can't express their sexuality. They can't express their beings.
They can't express
Even
outrage,
art,
like-
even art,
Yeah.
even art. I've seen things where people are like, well, that's like things that are classic art, like pure ignorance, like looking at Roman statues where they're naked. There's nothing vulgar about that.
And then they get covered up.
Yeah,
right?
and they're gonna censor that. They're gonna censor art.
Yeah.
They're gonna. I can't, like, to me that baffles me. I'm sorry. I feel very passionate about that.
That's fine.
I mean, I paint nudes,
And there's child pornography.
and there's child pornography, and it's very easy to access porn online. There's absolutely no restrictions on it whatsoever.
It's true.
It's like we're schizophrenic in a way. You know what I mean? Like what you said, Sybil, like about, was this about Miss Lady Andy? It was like, you know, we choose. Yes, it was kind of both of you. It's like we choose what we want to censor regarding to the agenda that we're pursuing. You know, it's like, what are we comfortable with? If it's comfortable, then it's cool. You know, it's like, oh, we're comfortable with bashing the heads of hookers on the street. Cool, put that in a video game.
But we're gonna censor culture and art.
You know what I mean?
How?
What about how do you feel about there was a statue, the first satanic statue of
Oh, appalled in Detroit.
in Detroit.
The first
now,
one?
Satanic. It was a statue of Satan that they put up. It was in passing. It didn't stay in Detroit.
Okay,
It was in passing.
but it was
They
made public.
unveiled it in Detroit.
Yeah,
Thousands and thousands and thousands of people came
yeah,
To see
for
it.
the unveiling of the statue of Satan.
yeah.
And a huge.
Yeah.
And it's actually going to go in a public place. This is allowed.
Of Satan?
Yeah,
Satan.
but mind you, let's think about the fact it was a historic event because for the first time in I don't know how long, it was done. Now I don't know if it was done because it was allowed or if it was done because someone finally had the guts to do it. But the fact
Either
is,
way.
the fact is, we are having a very visceral reaction and saying they should not be allowed to do that, but
Why not?
But you know, like, why shouldn't they be allowed? After all, thousands and thousands of people did show up, and it's like there are people who exist.
Yeah, that
like
worship
Personally-
that are satanic. Yeah.
Personally, I don't know how I feel about. There's some things I see and I'm like, I don't understand why this is on. Like, I don't want to see it.
I
But I don't know how. Like, I think when we start to get into the territory, like sometimes we become even more brutish in what we think is to protect ourselves and people from what is not righteous, than the actual thing we're fighting, and it actually just makes it grow more.
I have a problem with it when, if everybody was left to express themselves and have the freedom to show whatever they believe in
Then
or
okay.
whatever they stand for, fine.
Yeah.
I have a visceral reaction to it, but I would have more tolerance towards it if, for instance, you know, they're allowing this statue to be up, but then there's an issue for Martin Luther King's or march.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, this is where I have
Okay,
this
so
is where I
please-
have a problem.
Yeah.
You know
Could
what I
you
mean?
enlighten us about
So-
that? What's going on with that?
No, I'm just saying, there's no issue in putting up this statue, Satanic statue, which was huge,
That's it.
and thousands of people rallied, and I didn't see much police, around
Going against
this,
it, yeah.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
But people want to go march in silence.
They
And
get
it
gas.
gets shot.
Because a black child got killed,
Right.
and people want to go march in silence,
Right.
Yeah.
peacefully, and there's tear gas and there's police brutality. I don't understand
I don't
this.
get it either.
Yeah.
So yes, I have an issue because, like I said, there's censorship. What is really the agenda of censorship?
Right.
So this is where I have an issue. Here, same thing in Montreal. You're gonna go out in Canada. Oh yes, we live in a pacifist country and it's so liberal. Yes, in certain things we are. Go on the street and try to start any type of movement and you'll see what happened. The police, there was brutality against the students.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it's students
that's
and okay, I mean really violent.
I think
last year,
one
I don't know
girl,
if
she
you guys
lost an eye.
yeah, I don't know if you guys remember last year.
But it was awful.
Tons of arrests. She lost an eye. Other people had bones broken, tear gas, and I remember being through. I think it was like 4 years ago. I was coming out of a meeting from an office, and I landed in this manifestation they were having on the street, and it was about pay.
Yeah.
It was something like just like civil, complete something for equality or something. Wasn't even political or anything like that. And all of a sudden, it's like there's horses and there's like gang squad and there's all this like. I'm like it looked like
Like
Civil
a tank.
War.
But you see-
It's Civil War, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden there's helicopters.
Oh my god.
But I feel like it's also a mix. Like there was this
Every
one
time
night-
you downtown,
Yeah.
because I live downtown.
Yeah.
Anytime there's any type of rally on the street, helicopters. Like, what the heck? Nobody's shooting anybody. Nobody, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's helicopters, there's this, that. And guess what? When I need the police for something and I need to call, they ain't showing up.
That's the thing.
They
They
ain't
show up
showing
like
up.
2 hours late.
They ain't showing up.
Speaking of those marches, it's like I think it's also part of. I feel like there's not much where they should be. They're not.
No.
So when there was I think just a few months ago, there was a march happening, and it looked like a police chase, the police chase of the century. But you could tell every driver that was in the car, they were just excited because something was happening. It's like they were just
No.
they were just parading
Hey,
around.
hey.
There were like 30
Listen,
cop cars, and I
when
was like,
hockey season,
Yeah.
okay, and we lose or we win, it doesn't matter, Montreal, if you win or lose.
We break shit.
Listen, that's how this is why I don't have a car no more. That's how my car got ruined. Okay, people like getting up on the car, stepping on it, jumping on it, whatever. Listen, they're putting even police cars on fire. All the store windows are getting broken. I don't see much happening. Where's RCMP then?
they're nowhere to be found.
Where's all the squad, the special force? Nowhere to be found. You go outside and try to rally for like, I don't know, peace of whatever or equal pay.
Forget about
Forget
it.
it. You're going to jail.
Yeah, you are going
You're
to
going
jail.
So
Yeah.
yes, there's a
an
problem.
imbalance.
There's an
There's a
imbalance.
problem.
Yeah, so censorship is a real thing, but it's like you use the pass when you want, you know, and then
Yeah.
you block it when you want to.
That's it. It's a very subjective thing for sure.
You know?
Absolutely.
It's like there's this guy that wrote a song about our current prime minister,
Mm-hmm.
and he got arrested.
Mm-hmm.
He got arrested for writing a song.
You want to
About
hear
Harper,
worse?
yeah.
You want to hear worse? In North America, natural medication is illegal, opposed to Europe, where you go to the pharmacy, you go to see a doctor, and they'll prescribe natural medication. Yes, doctors here are not allowed to prescribe natural medication because it's actually illegal.
But what do you mean by that?
Weed.
No cure. No, not weed.
Like lavender.
No, so
lavender.
it's not weed. It's not weed.
No,
weed is actually legal. If a
No, it is
doctor
legal.
prescribes-
Now
Yeah.
it's legal in Canada.
It is,
Medical
it's true.
weed is legal. Why? Because the government found a way they could make money and tax you.
Yeah.
So they're all good with
They're like,
it.
it's okay.
Now,
We'll give it
but
to
this
you.
is what's interesting. I was sick a few years ago,
Yeah.
and my father took me to see a doctor in
Okay.
another province, and it was all hush hush. And I'm like, why is this hush hush? Because it's actually not legal for them to have their own office and cure you, let's say cure cancer, naturally.
That's messed up.
It's illegal.
It's illegal.
It's illegal. Illegal.
Well, you know what? I have a friend.
But wait,
Oh, sorry.
sorry
Go on.
to say that to you. I find that very, very interesting that actually there was doctors that wrote books in the United States on how to cure cancer like that. And guess what? There's people that literally, they got threatened for their lives.
Yeah.
That they needed to shut down the operation. And even the doctor I went to see, he had black blinds. It was all the way in Booneyville in the country because it's not allowed.
Yeah, they're stopping people from making money. And when you mess with people's money, then you mess with your own life.
Then
You mess with your own
Exactly.
fucking life.
if you mess with people's money, suddenly it becomes
Personal.
They can
Becomes
change
real.
anything into a moral, and it just gets swayed.
So
That's
freedom,
it.
freedom, you know, it's very restrained. It's same with freedom of speech. It depends. Go try to write a book on how to cure cancer naturally and see what happens to you.
You have to find ways to say it
You have
without
to find
saying it.
exactly. So freedom of speech,
Touchy. Subjective.
yeah.
But
They
it's-
find
but-
loopholes. They find loopholes how to get people. There's not really freedom of speech. You can't really express yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you can't express yourself as an individual. You have to follow the herd, and this is the way the society is designed, and that's how they want people.
But the thing that burns me though is that you're saying things like you can't write a book about how to cure cancer
Yeah.
naturally,
Right.
which like I'm not disputing that.
Yeah.
But on the other side, you have like dudes that are on like online and making like conferences on how to like pick up women
Yeah.
and like
Oh,
beat
yeah.
them up.
Yeah,
And
pick up
pick
artists.
up
Yeah, that's
artists
allowed.
and like like biggest women hater all around
Yeah.
with this hateful agenda.
Yeah.
And like
But
we
that's
allow
what-
them
but
in our
that's what I'm-
countries.
But that's it. That's what I'm saying. How come that's not shut down, but racial things are shut down, cultural things are shut down, art is shut down, cures are shut down. Anything that's good for humanity is shut down.
It's a power thing, and definitely it's just to keep people in a certain state of powerlessness. Because
Yes.
really, when people tap into their power, whatever that means, even sexually, financially, whatever it is,
Spiritually.
artistically, when you tap into that, you're literally unstoppable.
Yeah.
You really are. And then people
Yeah.
get together and they start realizing how much the system is really a joke.
Right.
And really, we could overthrow it all because we're many, and there are not that many ruling everything. But if we were to tap into that, then it would be the end of that era, and people don't want that. I
People
think.
are afraid of the changes, but the changes are happening anyway.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how to solve any of this stuff, because I'm like, I don't want a bunch of pedophiles and psychopaths getting together for a symposium on how to buy proper, protection gear.
Yeah, I
I really
agree.
would prefer
True.
them not
I
to
agree.
do that,
Yeah.
But at the same time,
It's having a conference
Symposium.
at the Palais des Congrès.
But that's what
know?
they do in the pickup artists.
But I don't know who to say not to speak, because I know how I feel, and I want to bring it to a more personal level, because I can't imagine how much further out there we can go. We can, but when someone tries to censor who you are as a personal being,
Yeah.
I get very angry.
Do you? How do you feel? And
I have
when's
a
the
very-
last time you remember
Oh my
being
God.
censored?
Do you know what? I've had a very aggressive reaction to that since I was a child. I've never accepted being censored. You shall not tell me not to say something. You shall not tell me not to do something. like I said, I'm not hurting someone. I try not to be disrespectful. Sometimes, unfortunately, in being very open or being very honest, it happens.
Well, sometimes people also, they take it in a way like, you're being disrespectful.
Oh, yeah, you're
but
being-
I'm just being
Yeah,
honest.
you're
being
being
myself.
sensitive. You're being people are...
You're disrespectful to my boundaries. Is
Yeah.
basically what people are saying.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my, can we...
Yeah.
Can we...
You know,
or
people
you're
don't,
try-
or you're rocking, you're actually affecting something because it's something they can't face within themselves.
That's what I'm
You
trying
know,
to say. Like,
so-
disrespect is a bit of a different word because I think it's like you're threatening to my boundaries.
You see,
You're
but
not
to
necessarily
me,
disrespecting.
I feel threatened when you are trying to censor me. I will never accept to be caged in any shape or form from anyone. I was taught not to. That is something I thank my parents for. They're like, you do not bow down to anybody. You do not, no one will censor you. And I really have a visceral reaction. I cannot accept it. It's funny, I was actually today with people in the workforce, and I was asked that, what is crucial to you working somewhere? And I said respect. And and they're like, thank you for saying that. That's very honest. Most people don't say that. And I'm like, you know what? I am very good at anything that I take on. And I will give someone the utmost respect. But do not disrespect me. And part of disrespecting me would be trying to censor me in one way or another. It'd be through what I'm saying or how I'm expressing myself. I don't have, and the more someone tries to do that to me, the more I'm going to rebel.
Yeah.
I'm going to push the envelope even more until I'm out of the cage. I can't stand that. And I've never taken it from anyone, not from my own family. I didn't even take it from my parents. I will not be, and I will take the consequences. As a child, even if I was punished, or later on, someone being upset at me, maybe friends losing friends along the way, or work or whatever. I see that's as belittling myself, and I will not allow it. I will never be censored. I'd rather die.
Okay.
And I mean that sounds dramatic, but I'd rather die because you're trying to take my identity away.
Yeah.
If you're taking away my expression, you're taking my identity away. I will die before that happens. I won't. I will go out in a blaze of glory. Like I won't.
She will fuck you up. Let's be real.
Yeah.
She will fuck some shit up.
Going
That-
down,
you
you going
do
down
not
with
want
me.
to do
Yeah.
that. It's
Yeah.
true though. I agree, and I feel you
I
on
feel
that.
very strongly about that.
And I feel like on the
Yes,
other,
clearly.
like on the other side, I feel like there are people daily that try to censor me, but ultimately it is about them and their own shit, and that too is important to take into.
Well, fuck
like,
you. Go deal with your own shit.
Well,
then.
for sure, absolutely. But some people are
Don't
not
come
ready.
piss on my parade.
But people will do it anyway, right? Because because I feel you. There's that. Do you know who you're messing with right now?
Do you know who I
excuse you?
So I feel like even censoring me, like the respect thing, it's
Yeah,
very important to me as well.
Very.
And I feel like I've had situations where guys, because of the setting we meet in, or they don't get it. They don't understand who I am, and so they come to me, and I'm like, you don't know what you're dealing with right now.
Give me an
And
example of what you mean.
I go dancing. I go out dancing with my girls. And this guy comes up to me like I'm just, just like
trash.
just like a girl that's ready to
You're a
meet him
hoe.
in the alley.
You're a hoe.
Exactly. And it's funny because I'm like, if we were to meet in any other setting, you would understand that this is not, like, I wouldn't even really have to say anything. But then in that situation, it's like, okay, first of all, that's your shit. Like, that's your shit. I know who I am. You're going to still try to, in a way, yeah, put me in a box and be like, I've got you figured out, therefore this is how I'm gonna treat you. You know? And it's made me angry to the point where I'm like, I get lost in it. But then at the same time, it's like, okay, this is the setting I'm in, or this is
and
his.
You won't stop expressing yourself because there's some jackass out there that's insecure, he doesn't see the person, he sees how you're dancing. So equates that to whatever because he's some insecure idiot.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like there's going to be that. So there's a guy in the club, but there could be a girl, whatever.
Right,
she's there and she's going to be like, wow, why are you like doing that? And I'm like, I'm just doing it. Like, but this is your shit. Like when you go home at night, you're there judging yourself that.
That doesn't faze me, and I feel you on that.
Yeah.
Because my equivalent to that would be like, for instance, y'all know that I put up, like, on my wall or whatever, social media-wise, I'll put up sexual things. Mm-hmm. I do it on purpose because, actually, it's a platform where I think that people should be more comfortable to express. It's not that bad, like, people.
Yeah.
But I noticed that, obviously, I'm getting messages in my inbox from people with very inappropriate things that are being said to me, or requests even that are completely inappropriate, right? Based probably on what I'm posting, or being approached in a way where I think that it's being misconstrued. It's not because I am comfortable in my sexuality and that I could express myself very comfortably with my sexuality and my sensuality, that first of all, that makes me promiscuous. I am absolutely not. I'm very picky. I will not just open my legs for anybody. That couldn't be furthest from the truth. Right? I'm actually pretty hard to approach. But those are people's, like you were saying, those are, and men that can't read that, right? Because some men really do understand it. And they're like, wow, okay, she's empowered. She's empowered. She's powerful in her sexuality.
Right.
And they understand it very well. But it's because, first of all, they're not insecure. They have the maturity. Right? And guess what? I will take it. Even with the stupid messages I get, I just delete them. Block, delete, block, delete. It won't stop me. Just like when you're out. Why would you stop dancing freely the way you love to dance and move? That's your expression. Fuck those guys. Tell them fuck off.
That's
Go
it.
fuck yourself.
But it's important. That's it. But in doing that, it's just good to, because it can drive you nuts. And it's good
of course. It drives
it's
me
like
nuts.
Most people when they approach you with their shit, they're filtering through their own freaking lenses, and it's like when you're able to remember that, there's a lot of stuff that just falls to the wayside easily. Easily.
Well, I like how we talk about how other people are censoring us, but there's also the censorship we do to ourselves.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Good point.
Yeah, I want to get into that.
I find that interesting. May I continue?
Yeah, go on. I will allow that.
Thank you for not censoring.
You could now speak.
I may speak. I find that I'm a very big. I censor myself a lot, and I feel really frustrated when people from the outside try to censor me, no matter how well-intentioned they are. They're trying to protect me. They're like, don't show this. This makes you look vulnerable. And I'm like, no, I got this.
I can handle it.
I need to be able to express myself this much in order to be okay. And I can't cater to the lowest denominator to keep myself safe because I want to, live 150 years miserable, But ironically, when it comes to being truly myself in moments where it really counts, when I really need to show up, that's when I censor myself.
Yeah.
Okay. And why would that be?
I think that the reason I've censored myself as much as I have is because I'm afraid that I've been afraid that who I am is not good enough, and so if I show people who I am, it will be it'll be laughed at and be like, oh, okay, so you're really not all that in a bag of chips.
Mm.
Or
That can be further from the truth, though.
By the way, y'all need to know that.
I just needed to.
Or just in case
Yeah,
you need the
I'm
reminder.
Yeah, Miss Lady Ann is fishing right now.
I'm fishing.
Nah.
Okay,
She
no,
is
but
a
really-
Leo, you know.
I just attracted.
We
No, but
love you, and you're wonderful.
thank you so much.
I hope you do show more of who you are.
Thank you, sweetheart.
And she has.
Thank you.
She's been
And
working on it.
I have. And on the other side is that, oh, what I have to say is crazy or inappropriate or will not be well received. But the more I've removed the censoring, like little by little, I start realizing, hey, there's a lot of other people like me out there, and they benefit from hearing from me.
Yeah.
And I benefit
But
from
even
hearing
if they're
from
not
them.
like you, you know, they
Yes.
learn from you. Like
Yes.
I don't know, you and me are different,
Yeah.
but we connect on many levels where we are similar and we are the same. And you teach me a lot just the way you are. You know, so I think it's beautiful. I think you're a beautiful person. I think you need to express that.
Thank you so much.
Don't.
And I,
Don't
I
censor
relate
it.
to that
Thank
though.
you.
Please
Thank
do
you.
not censor.
I think there's a thing also that comes with maturity.
Yeah.
Like personally, yes, I'm bold. Like I say things, you know, I
I
speak
love
my
it.
mind.
You're honest.
I'm
love
honest,
it.
you know. I
Yes.
speak my mind. I don't. I try to not
Refreshing.
like hurt people.
I
You're
love
not.
it.
You're
But
not hurtful.
I try to be honest. But there's the thing about, yes, this was always part of me, naturally. But there's the thing about getting older and wiser, and like not giving a shit. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you just stop caring about the fact that some people will not like you.
Yeah.
You know what I
It's
mean?
true.
Yeah.
And like it's freeing.
Yeah.
And you know, like whoever is listening out there, like I really wish that for you. Like I wish you health and
Yeah.
happiness
And love.
and also to stop giving a shit, like really, about what other people think. And like there's like this thing about you need to care about, you know, to live a social life, you know, the people around you, you know, you care for them.
Yeah.
But there's also that like I'm gonna do what I do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do what I do.
Yeah.
And you may
it's-
not understand it.
And
And
that's
even though you're the
okay.
closest person to me, you may not understand it, and you may not benefit from it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna do it because there's other people who want to be part of this.
Yeah.
You know, they this gives them a voice, and it gives me a voice.
Yeah.
I need to be able to express myself.
Yeah.
But then on the
I-
flip side, you also have to gauge what people are ready to hear or not. Like I know that sometimes
That's
I
what
just
you
it's
try
like,
to give
yeah,
advice
it's like,
though.
Yeah, but that's also part of it. Like
Mhm.
I think censorship comes a lot in that.
Yes.
Someone comes in, they're sensitive about something, and you
I
know
think it's the way you express it.
Yeah,
that
it's
you
the way you
become wise
express it.
about.
Mm-hmm.
That you need to become wise about.
absolutely. But there's also just the expressing part of it, where it's like, say someone is there and they're talking about something and they're just not ready. They're just, girl, we've been in this situation. She's looking at me. She's like, this girl is not ready to hear what I have to say.
I say
There are
it
many
anyways.
times. No, there are times where you have censored yourself, and then days later you're like, girl, I was gonna tell you, but I knew you weren't ready, and I didn't say anything. We do that all the
Yeah,
time,
but
and
isn't
that's
isn't
but
that
that's
a
a part
choice?
of it. It
But
is
I'll
a choice.
never,
But I
I'll never
think-
not tell you.
I know, but the thing is,
Even
that
if it's
part,
hard,
that moment,
because I've also been in situations
yeah, but
with
the,
you where it's like
what
it's
I-
been hard, and I just took a deep breath and did it.
for sure,
I did
and
it
it was
today.
and it was necessary. But the thing is, that moment where you're there and you're like, oof, I see exactly what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not gonna go there right now because you're not ready. And what I'm trying to say, which is I'm trying to help you, is not gonna go through, and it's just gonna take you somewhere else and make me look like an asshole. And I'm not gonna do that. And censorship, there's also that element that comes into play where, you know, you're talking about Miss Lady Andy, you're talking about how you censor yourself, and I do feel like I do that often. Less with the people that are really close to me because I love them, and you know what, like Dee's saying, it's like I'd rather just be honest.
Yeah.
Me too.
But even then, like you're saying, Sibs, it's like how I bring it.
Yeah.
I really do think about that real and hard before I speak, because people are so sensitive, and it's especially when you're talking about like something really touchy. It is important how you bring it.
Well,
to
actually,
the table.
I've heard a lot of interesting things. Sometimes I've heard people say things like, well, I just say it how it is and whatever, man. If you can't handle it, it means that you ain't ready to hear it. And I'm like, exactly.
Yeah.
You know? And what is your goal in speaking?
Yeah.
What is your goal in expressing yourself? I feel that people match up together. If you're matching up with someone who's getting offended by what you're saying and can't move past that, maybe the reason they are getting offended is because when you were speaking, even though you recognized a basic truth, you weren't really trying to make that person hear you and really understand you. Maybe you were trying to vent, get something off your chest. Maybe you were in a I know better mode, or I'm afraid for you because you're not listening and I'm scared, and this is about my fear for you, and I need you to listen to me now because my well-being is so attached to the outcome of this conversation. You're not really speaking. The same thing can be said at any given point in time, but I feel communication is a dance. And it's more than what's just said in point form. It's in body language, is in knowing that this message will be received when this person is probably already really beating themselves up about things, you know? And they're not going to be able to hear it. They're going to hear it instead of with love and support, they're going to hear it with judgment, because I'm a little bit angry with them, actually, by the way, because of the stuff they do.
Yeah.
I felt that I've had to play a lot of that dance and seen a lot of the different sides of it from the recipient and from the giver.
Could I counteract that?
Yeah.
Please do. Yeah.
I agree with what you said. That's true, because there's always nuances and nothing's black and white. But there's also sometimes the uncomfortableness of telling somebody something and they'll be mad and they're not ready to hear it is actually what will help your friend.
I agree.
Exactly. True.
You know, and it's not easy for the person, because people think that people that are direct and honest and raw and bold,
Or just
like,
plain mean.
Yeah, they're just, it's like,
They're fine.
no,
Yeah.
do you know what? I'll be honest, it's a very difficult
easy.
role to play, because, I don't know, for instance, I'm a very loving person.
Yeah.
The people that I love.
Yes, you do.
She loves us.
Yeah, I love hard. So my goal is never ever to hurt. Even in arguments, I feel bad after. Like really, I really do. However, I'm always a believer that even I'll take the risk. Say, you're right, Asa. Like maybe I'll take 2 to 3 days, because I'm like, okay. Gauging when. But I will always say it.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's part of friendship, is being honest. And if you see that your friend, ooh, this is not good, or whatever, and you know, if luckily it hasn't happened to me much, maybe when I was younger, you know, I've lost friends because I was honest, or let's say about, you know, it could be topics like, I don't know, their relationship, let's say, or whatever it be. Where I just gave it
Man stealing hoes.
whatever the topic was, you know. I'll keep it real with my friend, and if that means that, you know, you're mad at me for a period of time, but something good comes from that,
might as well, yeah.
I love you enough to take that risk.
There you go. I like that.
You know, I will do it, and I've been in situations.
Yeah, I like
where
that.
it's like, yeah, okay, we'll have a rocky moment. It's okay, but if the love's there, and people have done it to me too, you know, but if the love's there and there's a solid foundation, it'll be okay. And if we don't make it past that, well, how solid of a friendship did we have to begin with? That's the way I say it. And to me, it's not a cop-out where I'm like, well, you know what? I say it like it is. If you don't like it, deuces. You know what? It's not coming from that place. No, because some people cop out like that too. It's like, okay, I'm not going to check myself. I'm just going to say shit whatever way it's going to come out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like
I had to work on that. I had to work on that.
And you have.
You know, I've had to work on that because sometimes it's too raw, and it's not my intention. But I understand that, you know, someone else could be at a certain place, or it could be sensitive, just like I'm very sensitive. So that's the part that I personally had to work on, and I'm still working on, is my delivery. You know? But as far as, like, censoring myself, like I said, I won't do it for anything, for myself, but also in respect to my friend.
Mm-hmm.
I won't censor myself for me, but for my friend as well. Because if I love you, I hate that. I see people all the time. It's like, you're gonna let your friend just walk into fucking fire. You're gonna let
Barbed
them
wire, like
like whatever in life, because you're too chicken, or
To
you're
say the
too
truth.
scared of how you're gonna be perceived. You're too scared it's gonna cause an argument and you can't handle it. You know, it's
Well,
not
I think
easy.
It's the same thing in like their.
It's not easy.
The intention again, and the other side of it, it's a place. It's not like there's any action that's right or wrong. What's the intention behind it?
Exactly.
Are you also not saying something because you're afraid of losing the friendship alone for your selfish reasons?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you'd rather have that person close to you but suffering
That's not
because
right,
you
though.
didn't take the time
That's
to take
not
the time.
See,
to and you're
that's
too scared.
Yeah,
You're
the
just
thing,
used
I'm
to-
not
you're
about
just
that.
used to
I'm not
being
about that.
everyone's
Not about
yes
that
man.
life.
No, I'm not
But
about
you
that
look like
life,
you
man.
wanted to say something.
yeah. I mean, you were talking about that, and I love what you said. It's like, I love you enough to be honest with you,
Yeah.
and trust that you'll be able to hear me out. And I find that's really strong. And in that, I really wanted to bring up the topic of white lies, like little white lies we
Yeah.
tell anyone, even if it's just like, how do I look? And it's like, you know, you look great. You know what I mean? Or say, and
Great,
that's
you see, I
no,
wouldn't
that's
say
a
that.
lie. That's a lie. You know how, like, say a white lie for me. That's true. I wouldn't say that.
If
I'd be
someone
like,
looking funky and you're saying great,
no, that's a
you
lie.
ain't-
You're pushing
yeah,
it.
that's
But
not
say
cool, man.
if someone comes up to
don't
me,
you do that to me, girl.
saying no, I never do that. Say in the theater world,
Yeah.
I go see shows, and some shows are not that great.
Oh,
They're really not good.
Don't
You know
even
what I mean?
get you, I leave.
So instead, yeah, we leave. We're freaking halfway intermission. We out. You know what I mean? But I'll see people, and instead of being like,
That sucks shit.
congratulations, because most people do that.
Yeah,
you know,
see, I'm
most
not,
people say,
I'm not like that.
I know, but most people
do
they'll
it.
say it was great even though it wasn't.
No, I won't.
I'll just be like, man,
Good for you.
how was your experience?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it? I will flip it around so I don't have to talk about
Me
it.
too.
Or
But in
I
a
would
way,
talk about something I really like.
yeah,
You know, like, wow, like, I was
The set
really impressed
was-
by the set.
yeah, the set was
If I
just
talk
amazing.
about the set.
But it's rough.
But I don't. That's the thing. I'm not gonna go tell someone where I'm like, yo, let's bounce, you know, and come up to, oh, that was amazing. So that
No.
person,
Or like your
could,
performance.
so that
music.
person could continue doing some garbage.
No.
Well, can I ask you
No.
something? If you were in, like, a work, and your client needed you to do that for them,
What?
Unless
Your
I'm
client
a
is
lawyer,
putting-
I ain't doing it.
If
But
you
your
get
client,
paid.
your client is like because you could be like, I will talk about how well I get paid for this job. No, but really,
See, but
Like,
I
no,
but
wait,
I
hold
should
on,
answer
hold
that
on.
question. I
your
will do it.
your artist, you have an artist,
Yeah.
Good
and
example.
your artist does great work, and then suddenly they do a piece of work,
They're
They
getting,
have to
they're
put it
getting
out.
Told.
but you need to go out to the public and sell it because no matter what, you have a contract, you have to pay bills.
Depends what you're about.
Nobody's a musician.
No, but wait a minute. What are you talking about? You said you're artist. For instance, me personally. Okay?
If you were
I'm a
representing an
manager.
artist, yeah.
I do represent an artist. I represent Asa, for instance. Okay?
Or a PR, you're like a PR firm.
I am.
And you're okay. Exactly. That's what I'm
Okay.
asking you.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you something about
Mhm.
me. This is people's integrity. You see, this is what I mean. Everybody works differently. Asa knows this about me. I have not signed artists, and I constantly get asked to manage. First of all, my own work ethic. I don't like to focus on too many artists. I like to focus on less
Yeah.
and put all my focus in. That's number one. But the thing is, I will never represent somebody that I don't think is talented because people think I could sell anything, and that isn't true. The reason people think I could sell so well is because I actually love the music or the talent that I'm representing. And I will, and Asa knows this, I will be the first one. If she comes to me with something and I don't like it, she knows this. I'm like, no, I'm not.
And it burns, but I need to hear it.
And I do.
It burns.
And I will tell her we can't sell that.
burns.
We can't go sell it. I'm sorry. If I've lost PR contracts like that too. I will not go and sell
something you don't believe in.
I don't believe in. Guess what? Because
And I respect that about you.
Oh my god, yeah.
I'm huge on that. So in the field of PR, I will not represent. I will not be the publicist as someone that I don't see worthy, and absolutely in artistry, and I will never be dishonest. I will never ever say that. I don't sell. I always say that from the jump. I don't sell dreams. I'm not in the business of selling dreams.
I like that.
That's the first thing out of my mouth. I am not in the business of selling dreams. If that's what you're looking for, I'm not the person for you. I'm about, we're going to work
hard.
We're going to work hard.
But at the end, we're going to have champagne.
That's the goal.
Champagne.
No, that's the goal. I am promising that.
Champagne.
I'm not promising that. But that's the goal, and I think we could get there if we do the work. But I will absolutely not represent a client that I don't think is up to par, and I will not go outside and fucking lie about it. I will not go. I don't care what you're offering me, and I will not make my artists sell out. I'm never gonna look at it and go, you know what, girl, if you go with these trap artists, because that's a tendency, you know, this is where the money at. Absolutely not gonna happen. I want her to sing from her soul. I tell her this all the time. And if that's not what's in the top 40, it's not in the top 40. She still could go where she needs to go.
We'll find
and
where
if
to put that.
And if she comes with something where I think she could do 50 times better, she knows I'll tell her. I do tell her.
Chances are I already know. I already know. That's why it's like when I want her to hear something, it's like I work myself up to that point where I'm like, I'm ready. I'm ready to hear it.
But okay, see, that's the thing. Okay, that's the thing. It's maybe because we're artists. Also, it's like when I work on a project, on like, you know, a play or like a show, a song, whatever, something that's going to be presented to the public. Okay. I cannot understand going to see a performance or something and that it's not finessed, that it's not finished, because polished. Because
I never got
that. Because the thing is, I can go see something that I don't like, but I can see that it's polished.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
That there's work. It might not be your cup of tea,
but
you give the respect. You give the respect.
Exactly.
I agree.
But when you go see something that there was 60 people working on that shit.
Oh no.
Okay? And there's a team.
I have zero
right?
tolerance for that.
And then you look at that and you're like,
why? Why?
But why
Who
did
let that
anyone
happen?
tell you that this is garbage?
Yeah.
And not what you're doing, but how you're doing
it's
it.
Yeah.
garbage.
Like, it's horrible.
Yeah.
And I've seen more than one thing, you know? And
People put a lot of money in that type of shit.
yes, and it just blows my mind. See, that's the kind of thing that I don't understand, and I don't want to get involved
But
with.
that's integrity. That, you see, Miss Lady Andy just asked something which I answered because I'm in a good position to answer specifically what she asked. But that boils down to integrity. And you see, what we're talking about censorship, I will not be censored. So, you know what? If I am going to go represent an artist, and I'm telling you, no, you need to listen to this. You need to listen to this, and I'll tell you why you need to listen to this. And this is extraordinary. I ain't lying to you. I'm not coming to you with something half-assed. You know what I mean? So I think integrity, if you're not going to censor yourself, and you don't want to be censored, you better have fucking integrity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Lesson of the freaking day.
Yes.
Message of the day, y'all. For people listening at home, people listening in their cars, people listening in the pool, people listening in their dreams.
No, but don't joke, okay? I listened to my podcast sleeping. I fell asleep, you know. I was like, you guys are playing like three podcasts, and I'm like,
which one were you listening to?
I don't know.
Like,
Like,
woke me up, all I
seriously.
gotta say.
So the
people-
lesson,
yeah.
the lesson of this podcast
Of this
is
hour, yeah.
of this hour is
We shall not be censored.
we shall not be censored.
So
by
listen.
anyone but ourselves, at least.
Listen to us talking.
And have integrity
Yes.
in whatever it is that you do. And
Do you, boo boo?
do you boo boo kitty?
Or own it. Own it.
Own
if you're
it.
gonna censor,
Well,
not
you
or.
own it.
and own it.
And
own it.
And
that's
Sorry,
it.
man.
That's all. And you know what? Last thing, but
let's
not
talk
the least,
about it.
That's it. You best freaking tune in for the next episode.
And talk about it to
of
other people.
Let's talk about it.
On Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern time.
Realize that shit gonna be good.
It's okay.
Talk about it, talk about it.